Hi everyone, it's a pleasant morning here in Thailand. It's the 9th of May, and today I just want to share with you the verse that I'm reading as I'm doing my devotion this morning. It's found in Romans chapter 1 verses 14 to 15. It says there that both to the Greeks and to the barbarians, both to the wise and the foolish, I have an obligation to discharge and a duty to perform and a debt to pay. So for my part, I'm willing and eagerly ready to preach the gospel to you also who are in Rome. But whenever I read an epistle written by Paul, I always look for his heart, the reason behind whatever he's writing about, or to the congregation that he's writing to. And I like this part when he wrote here, because he actually revealed three very important things why he goes from one place to another, preaching the gospel and the good news of Jesus Christ. And he says it very clearly in verse 14. He says that I have an obligation to discharge. And it's the same thing that we feel whenever we're doing God's will, right? We have an obligation. We don't have much choice, do we? You see, God gave us so much of His blessing, so much of God gave us eternal life. We just don't have any choice. It's something that we need to discharge to others. It's something that we need to release to others. And it's the same thing that we feel in our hearts as we go on and fulfilling the call of God in our lives. Second thing that he said is that we have a duty to perform. A duty to perform means somebody sanctioned us, gave us authority, and gave us a charge to do something. And therefore, it is our duty to perform. If we don't perform it, then we're missing out what God has called us and what God has commanded us. And He has commanded it. We see it many times in the Bible, all the way from the Old Testament to the New Testament. Jesus, before He left, He said, "Go forth to all nations and preach the gospel." And that's what we have. It's a duty, it's a charge that we have, the great commission that we have for Jesus Christ. That's why we go and do these things. Amen. And the third is we have a debt to pay. We have a debt, something that we cannot pay on our own, and Jesus Christ paid for it. And something that we owe to others as well. It's something that we need to pay back to others, something that we need to give back to others. And if we continue verse 15, so for this part, I'm willing and eagerly ready to preach the gospel to you also who are in Rome. So let this be an encouragement for us today, that because of this salvation so precious that we have from Jesus Christ, may this inspire us, give us eagerness, joy in our hearts, that we may be willing to also go and preach the gospel to your next door neighbor or to the next country that you have in mind and in your heart. And so thank you. Until next video, God bless you this week.